Assalamualaikum and selamat sejahtera. Okay, so now let's look at this question. Okay, so this is the example of the question of dihybrid cross. Okay, so first of all, if you look at this question, okay, pure breed pea plants with grey seed coats, okay, and that grey seed coats is represented by capital G, and long stem, okay, capital L, will cross with plant with white seed coat and short stem. Okay, so first of all, if you look at the first sentence, okay, pure breed here, okay, actually pure breed, the terms pure breed here is same as true breeding. Okay, so means that you have to cross. Okay, the crossing will involve in between the homozygous dominant and also the homozygous recessive. Okay, so if you look at here, since in this question, dah diberi, okay, grey seed coat is represented by the dominant allele which is capital G. So maksudnya grey seed coats ni adalah dominant phenotype. Why long stem is also a dominant phenotype because of what? It will be represented by the capital L here. So maksudnya white seed coat and also short stem, both of it are recessive phenotype. Okay, and then when you do the crossing in between homozygous dominant and also homozygous recessive, so look at the next sentence. All offspring in the F1 generation had grey seed coat and long stem. Okay, so the other way, okay, to identify either the phenotype is dominant or recessive phenotype, you look at the F1 generation. Kalau F1 generation, okay, dia punya phenotype yang terhasil, okay, adalah grey, seed coat and also long stem. Maksudnya kita assume bahawa grey dan juga long stem ni juga sebagai dominant phenotype. Okay. And then using a genetic diagram, explain the phenotype ratio you would expect if the F1 generation were self-fertilized. So means that once you already, okay, get F1, okay, the genotype of the F1, so what you have to do is you have to show the self-cross of F1. Okay, so macam mana kita nak tunjukkan dari segi genetic diagram? Okay, so first of all, you have to start first with parental genotype. Okay. Okay, so parental genotype. Okay, so since it is pure breed or true breed, so it will involve a crossing in between the homozygous dominant with homozygous recessive. So remember, since dia adalah dihybrid, so remember dihybrid means that dia akan ada dua karakteristik. So karakteristik in this case adalah seed coat and also the length of stem. Okay, so the first genotype will be G besar, G besar. Okay. L besar, L besar. So this one will represent the homozygous dominant. And then you cross with homozygous recessive. Okay, so this is for the parental genotype. Okay, once you already show the parental genotype, next you have to show the gamete. Okay, so the gamete for the first one. Okay, so remember, since the hybrid cross, you have to relate with law of independent assortment. So what happened to this both pair of allele? It will segregate. So means that in one gamete, okay, it will have allele for different character. So maksudnya dekat dalam satu gamete yang sama, dia mesti kena ada allele G and also allele L like this. Okay, and then for this one adalah G kecil, L kecil. Okay, so when you already show the gamete, so what you have to do next? Okay, do the crossing to get the F1 genotype. Okay, so when you do the crossing, so you will get the genotype of F1, it will be like this lah. So this is heterozygous. So kalau kita compare dengan question, so betul lah all offspring in the F1 generation had grey seed coat and also long stem. So means that the F1 phenotype here, okay, so you can write like this, all are grey seed coat and long stem. Okay, but the question needs you to show the F1 generation self-fertilized. Okay, so self-fertilized in this case means that you have to show the self-cross between F1. So tadi kita dah dapat F1 genotype. So what you have to do next, you have to show F1 self-cross. Okay, F1 cross F1. So the genotype of the F1, G besar, G kecil, L besar, L kecil. Okay, cross with another heterozygous. Okay, and then the next step, okay, you have to show the gamete. Okay, so for the first one, so remember, since adalah heterozygous, so you have to remember, for heterozygous, it will produce 4 different gamete. So for the first gamete here is G besar, L besar. And then next, okay, it will become G kecil, L kecil. Okay, and then G kecil, L besar. Another one, G kecil, L kecil. Okay, so this is for the first heterozygous. For the second one, since genotype-nya adalah sama, so means that it will also produce 4 different gametes. So just copy again. So it will become like this. Okay. Next, okay, to get the F2 genotype, so since it will involve, so if you look at here, for the first heterozygous, it has 4 gametes. For the second heterozygous, also it has 4 gametes. So kalau awak nak tunjukkan crossing satu-satu, so mungkin awak akan keliru. So what you have to do is, you draw a Punnett square. Okay, so what you have to write for F2 genotype, okay, so you can write like this, use Punnett square. Okay, so what you have to write inside of the Punnett square here. Okay, so firstly, maybe in this box, okay, in this table, so tulis dulu, this is male gamete. Okay. Okay, and then dekat bawah ni adalah female gamete. Okay, female gamete. Okay, and then here you have to write all of the gametes lah. Okay, for the first one, let's say dekat sini kita tulis G besar, L besar, G kecil, L kecil, G kecil, L besar, and then this one G kecil, L kecil. Okay, same goes to this one. Okay. Okay, and then you have to fill in the table based on the crossing between the gametes. Okay, so let's say for the first one, this one will become G besar, G besar. Okay. L besar, L besar. So this one G besar, G besar, L besar, L kecil. This is G besar, G kecil, L besar, L besar. Okay, and then this is G besar, G kecil, L besar, L kecil. Okay, and then next G besar, G besar, L besar, L kecil. So awak mesti kena susun lah. Okay, yang mana kita kata allele yang dominan dia mesti kena berada di depan. Okay, G besar, L kecil, L kecil. Okay, and then next, G besar, G kecil, L besar, L kecil. Then G besar, G kecil, L kecil, L kecil. Okay, so next. Okay, so just fill in the table. Okay. Okay, so when you already complete, okay, the table here, so what you have to do next, you have to write the phenotypic ratio. Okay, so write like this, F2 phenotypic ratio. So what you have to remember, okay, for dihybrid cross that follow the Mendelian inheritance or follow the law of independent assortment, supposedly you will get the ratio is 9, 3, 3, 1. Okay, but you have to write lah. 9 represent what? Okay, so for like this, macam mana kita nak ingat? 9 ni dia mesti kena dua-dua phenotype-nya adalah dominant. So in this case, it will be 9 grey seed coat. Okay, 2 long stem. Okay, and then 1 here, dia punya phenotype ni adalah dua-dua recessive. So it will become 1 white seed coat. Okay, white seed coat. 2 short stem. Okay, and then 3 and 3 means that it is recombinant. Recombinant means it will get both phenotype from the parent. Maksudnya tadi, kalau kita ambil contoh, for the first one, 3 here, okay, dia akan ada phenotype yang dominant, which is color, the seed coat color, grey. Okay, grey seed coat. Okay, while untuk dia punya stem dia adalah recessive. So, it will become short stem. Okay, and then the other one here. So, this is white seed coat. to long stem. Okay. So this is how you show the self cross between F1, okay, to get the F2 generation for dihybrid cross. So you have to take note lah, okay.